Hello and welcome to this week's live. Every week we go live and bring through lots of cosmic Akashic information together to help you prepare so that you can consciously start your week. And we consider Monday to be the week. So welcome everyone, whoever has joined us live already. And just such a beautiful week that we have. It started off with a very gentle energy, and we've just had the lashing from the eclipse and all the stuff that was happening last week. So this week feels like the energy that's kind of slow, even quintessential boring, but it's an energy that is allowing us to really tune in and bring through this energy with grace, bring through our week and conduct ourselves with grace through this week. So today I wanted to share a story, and welcome Dee, welcome everyone who's joined. And the story I wanted to share was something that really was heart touching for me when I was returning from a festival that we were celebrating. So in India, we celebrate this festival called Holi. It's one of our big festivals. So my sister, her kids, and I, we all, and of course my brother-in-law, we all decided to go out for this festival, and we really celebrate and really celebrate Holi. It's quite beautiful actually. You wear your oldest really boring clothes, the clothes that you don't want to wear again. And then there are color packets, and you throw color at each other. You play with color powder. So it's a way. It's very playful. It's very fun, and there's a lot of this beautiful energy. So we went to celebrate this in Sydney, and there was a time when we were coming back when my niece, who is literally my soul child, and I just feel for her like I feel for no one. And I'm sure that you also might have a particular child that has taken your heart, and they're so special for you that no other relationship can actually compare to that. It's very special what I have with my niece. So I was sitting with my nephew, who's a younger brother, and he was sitting in my lap, and he was playing, he was talking, and he was very happy, and he was feeling very cold. So I had an extra t-shirt, so I made him wear my t-shirt. The t-shirt had a unicorn on it, and obviously I love unicorns. So he wore the t-shirt, and he was very happy. And suddenly my niece, she was very kind to her brother, but she was also very much in pain when she looked at me, and she said, why does he get to wear your unicorn shirt? Why does he get to be in your lap? What did I do wrong? And it just melted my heart. They're not very far apart from each other, they're just 2 years apart. And for me, that was a very heartwarming, heart-opening conversation that she was having. And so I just picked her up, and my sister took care of her younger son, and I took her in my lap, and we started chatting. As we started talking, I cuddled her, I assured her, and it was almost a healing of my own inner child as I was assuring her. Because there have been times in my life when, for some reason, I felt like, being the elder child, I was supposed to be the more responsible one, and I didn't get that attention that my siblings got. And I think as kids, we probably have all had those moments when we feel like we've had to share our attention and our love with someone else, with our other siblings, and sometimes that's painful. So a part of me that has felt that, like, when I was probably really young, maybe 6 or 7 years old, that part came up, and I realized so much of what was happening on the other side. The parental figures in my life, they never meant to ignore me, and they loved me. There was no doubt about it. And yet my inner child needed that assurance. So when I started giving this assurance to my niece, something within me started to profoundly shift and heal as well. So that's the energy that they were helping me bring through today. And they said that today and this week is all about healing the inner child. There are those delicate parts of us that actually reparent when you become a parent, or when you become a parental figure to somebody. And there is something very special in that. So there is that inner child energy coming through. So what would you like to tell your inner child that you haven't said before? So this is that time to really sit and allow that message, allow that healing to come through for you. And you don't need to wait for for a situation like mine, where my niece had to come and sit in my lap and I had to tell her all the things that I tell myself. It can be something that you can do without that, because I think I've got that one experience and we can all collectively use it to alchemize from it. So I would invite you to just step into your heart for a moment, and just check with yourself, what is that one thing that you would like to tell your inner little girl or inner little boy, and allow that to be whatever it is. And it can be very simple, like how we speak to children, right? We don't use prolific words with children. We just say something very simple. No, that's not true. I do love you. I absolutely adore you. I care for you. You didn't do anything wrong, and it's okay, you're learning. So there's something very beautiful and profound about these simple statements that go to our inner child. And that's what I invite you to do for your own inner little child. And no matter how much we grow up, those patterns keep coming back for us. So if you missed a payment, or if you got late for a meeting, or you committed to do something but you forgot to do it and it had some repercussions or it affected other people, we really get into that part of self-punishing. We become harsh on ourselves. We become upset with ourselves, and we really treat that inner little child very roughly, unconsciously, but we do that. So this week is all about embracing your inner child and loving it and giving it all the assurance that it has always needed. So bringing in that theme, if anyone who's joined live wants to share in comments, what would you like to tell your inner child, please do so. And anyone who's watching this on YouTube later, you can also leave that in comments and I'll reply to all the comments. So I'm reading some now. I would say, I'm listening and I feel you. Oh, that is so beautiful. I almost had like a whole wave of love pass through me as I was reading that. It's something that I can tell my inner little girl as well. And how beautiful is that? Because we don't listen to our inner child sometimes. And, we're a bit possibly too busy for the child to come and throw a tantrum at the wrong time. So we just let it go. And so this is so beautiful. I'm listening and I feel you. How beautiful. So anyone else who wants to write it, you can just leave it on chats. Now I want to bring through the collective Akashic messages for today. And I like to do it in a way that we do it together. So all those who are tuning in on YouTube and on Instagram, um, and if and all those who can possibly close their eyes and really tune in for a moment, allow that. And if you're not able to close your eyes, if you're driving, of course, please don't do that. You can just listen to it and just think about it. So I'm just tuning into the collective message and allow this to be this wonderful meditative space for yourself. And as you do that, I'm connecting with the Akash of this collective, all people who are listening to this message in the now of now, when it is perfect for you. And I'm asking them to show me a vision and allow yourself to see, feel, hear as well. And you're very welcome to share what you see, feel, and hear as well. And we can actually talk about it afterwards. So, as I'm closing my eyes and I'm tuning into the message for this week, what is coming up is quite interesting. It's like, when we walk, when we stand, we're looking at earth below us and horizontally, and we're walking straight. But what they're showing me this week is they're showing it like, okay, first I'll share with you what I'm seeing, and then we'll decode it. So they're showing me a perpendicular axis, and the baseline is actually 90 degrees. So we are walking this way. It's until somebody says that actually that's not how it was supposed to be, you were supposed to walk horizontal, not vertical, that movement keeps going. And as soon as that new pattern interrupt comes in, this person who's walking this way starts to fall. So then I see in the remaining part of the week, there is a step by step process in which the person is forgetting and allowing for what was, so that what can be is possible. And within this, there is a lot of internal dialogue. So that is kind of an overlap from the message that was coming through about loving and healing the inner child. So as the step by step process is occurring, it is kind of much stabler and much more stable and much more grounded compared to suddenly going up against gravity and just feeling like, wow, I am I'm outside of the physics, the calculation of physics and time, and I'm just principles of physics and time, and I'm just doing my own thing, and then realizing that and getting shocked and falling back. So this step by step process is allowing for the groundedness to come into your spiritual expansion. And usually this kind of a message comes through when there is vast amount of opportunity and information coming in our field. So if there's a lot of new things that you're waiting for, uh, they may happen to this week. And as they may happen this week, it is really the balance of conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind will just do its own thing, and we can't really control it. But the conscious mind can really choose the realities we want through it. So if your unconscious mind says, no, no, you're not supposed to move this way, you're only supposed to move horizontal, you're not supposed to move vertical, that's the conscious mind. And the dialogue with the conscious mind is to allow that to live its own experience and allow it and invite it into the new experience. So as that conversation happens, somehow the unconscious, the subconscious, and the spirit takes over, and it really goes vertical again. So as this is happening, I'm seeing that it doesn't feel like a major achievement, major big step in life, and it doesn't feel really significant to write in your diary, uh, at least when you're going through the experience. But when you look back, this is really where the foundation, or your baseline is enhancing. Your baseline is going to the next level. As your baseline goes to the next level, your normal becomes a bit more alleviated than before, elevated than before. Alleviated if you've been in trouble and you've been troubled a little bit, but if you're already in a very neutral space, it could be elevated. And what I'm also seeing is there's a lot of dreaminess around this dreamy energy this week, because I'm seeing a lot of ripples, almost like ripples in water, but these are ripples in the air. So there's things that most people cannot see, but you're starting to become really attuned to be able to see those messages and see that clarity, see the patterns, and see how the divine beings are creating these new experiences without us noticing mostly. But you're able to notice it because now you're attuned to the nuances of these things. So as this is happening, this is allowing you to do that elevation and then come to the step. Again, that elevation and come to the step. So there's also this energy of doing things with rhythm, doing things, allowing yourself to have some downtime, allowing that inner child to be nurtured a little bit, and to spend that extra 5 minutes and say, hey, I'm here with you, I love you, I'm listening to you, and I'm here for you, I will do things to take care of you. So as this is continuing to happen, I'm seeing that there is a lot of shift in the heart chakra this week, and that's why I was asked to wear green. This heart opening energy is it's almost got a dizzying quality to it. So the dizziness is that I'm feeling is kind of all about letting go of the conscious mind and the interruptions of the conscious mind into your feeling, into your feel experience. So allowing this week to really go into your heart and go into your rhythm. And heart is all about rhythm. So this is beautiful. There's also a lot of energy around connecting with your angelic realm. So if the angels have been whispering messages to you, if they've been showing you 1111 or 333 or any of the synchronous numbers, then it's or they just you just find a random feather in a place where it shouldn't be, or the you suddenly look at your phone and it's a certain time but there's a rhythm to it. If these things start to happen, this week is all about becoming open to those messages, because there's definitely a, a a message coming through the angelic realm, and they are trying to communicate with you. So if there is a place where you feel a little bit unclear or not neutral, maybe you're feeling a bit emotionally charged at any point this week, you can tap into this angelic energy. And I know this is quite a general insight, right? We can always look into angelic energy. That's why these messages from the Akash are always eternal in time. You can listen to them anytime, but more so this week, because your energies are starting to reset and realign after all the big movements that have happened last week with the eclipse and all the shifts that have occurred as a result of that. So the inner child is really whispering with love. And this inner child, deep inside the inner child, is also the aspect of the divine touch. And if you look at Carolyn Meiss's work, she talks about the different child archetypes. So there's one particular child archetype called the divine child. That's, of course, a little bit different. But borrowing from that, the divine child energy is that child energy that is freely and flawlessly connected with the cosmos, flawlessly connected with creation, and with the energy of possibilities, the energy of magic, and the energy of trusting the universe, because the divine child trusts. It allows for messages to come through. It allows for synchronicity to be the path, and it listens and responds to the guidance, or it whether it is listening outside or listening within, but there is definitely a responsiveness to something that is beyond itself. So, anytime this week you feel a call to move in a direction that you've not moved before, that's also coming in as a guidance. So, really bringing together all these messages, I'm now going to tune in and bring through some light language activation to assist us energetically as we move through this. But while I do that, all those who are live on YouTube or Instagram, or whenever you listen to this, please feel free to put it in chat. What messages have you been receiving from your guides? What messages are coming through for you? Or what synchronicities are you seeing? Is it some numbers? Is it some message about your health? Is it some guidance around your inner healing? Or a choice that you're supposed to make? So think about it. If you can leave it on chat or also just reflect. So allow that to be a part of your journey. I'm now going to bring through some light language activation, and feel free to leave in chat if there's anything else that's coming up for you too. Anasya Ulana Tukuhashia Sunaka, the element wind is coming through. Yana Sharala Hasia Tukunushu Asula Nashuina Sara. This is also a bit of an echo coming from the monthly meditation that I did last, I think it was on Friday. Yeah, so last week. And the energy that was coming through was Atlantis. So, oh, beautiful. I'm seeing the numbers, the synchronicity here: 11, 11, 11, 22, 22, 333, 444, 82, 80, 82, 28. That one is very interesting. Wow. Okay. So clearly guides and angels have been communicating with you, and it does feel like a very strong signal of assurance that you're on the right track. Things that you've been worried about, it's kind of an assurance that it's going to be okay, and it's beautiful. So I'm sure that you're connected with what the messages are, but I can definitely say there's a lot of assurance coming in from the angelic realm for you. Beautiful. So, because as I was saying, the energy of March is very connected to the Atlantean energy, And this monthly meditation was all about stepping into an Atlantean temple. And we met Lady Nada and Lord Sananda. So these are the higher, more attuned, ascended versions of Mary Magdalene and Jesus. And in a way, archetypally, they are the energies of the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together. So the reason I say this is our channeling today is still connected to that message overall is because the energy of the wind is very strong. And during the Atlantean times, winds used to be very strong. So everything was connected to that. You were always being blown away by the wind. Your hair was always flying in the wind. And there was always wind communicating very actively with people in that time. So that wind energy is very active with you now. And you can even experiment with that this week. So when you step out and you just ask a question, say, if the answer is yes, give me a gush of wind in the next couple of minutes. If the answer is no, just stay still or move in this direction. You can ask the wind to communicate with you, and it will continue to do that. So that energy is coming through. Yana Suruluno Shuku. For those who are wondering what is this language I'm speaking light language. This is the language of creation. This is the language of love, of course, of the cosmos, and it's a language of vibration. So when I speak this, allow your heart to listen to this language, not the conscious mind and the words necessarily. Yanasuru shurukunuku, and allow the heart to do its thing as it listens to these and this and shifts its own vibration as it interacts with this message and these codes. Yahalana shu usura hashi ana sarahasu lahakaha. Iana sara suru sulukushu suru sushu usura shu ana sara sa ahasa. Yahalana tukoro shunu surusha anasuranasha. There's also a purification of the mind. Yana shuluru sunu shunukula nahasha asa, because that is also the connection with the wind energy. There's also connection with the throat. Yasula nashura sukasha. That's become a theme now. It's been coming up a lot these days. Yah saha, yah saha, yah saha. Ah, lana surukura nashukunuku. It's about opening your heart. Hiala nashurukura nashunutuku. That part of you that shut itself down and closed itself because it was too hard or too simple or too stupid to connect with that part of you felt. Yana shuruku, for there is nothing too hard or too stupid or too simple. Yanasura shalanashu usaha siarakuraka. That is your inner child. Yana sala itu koroso ina sarakanu shuku. As you take each step, yana shuluna shurukunuku, with the right balance of surrender and being conscious. Yana shuruluna shunusha, and making that conscious choice. Iya hala, iya hala, iya hala. Each time you come up with that balance, each time you come together in that next stage of your expansion this week. Yana surashi alana shuranaka. And this week sounds and feels like a foundational week. Things that you're setting up as systems for this week are allowing you to look back even 6 months later and say, hey, actually, I did well in that week. It was so nice for me to really tap into that and allow myself to make that as my foundation. Yana surala nashu, support is available for you. Ia si asira kulu nashu isara nashu asaha. Iala nasha. This is also a week for connecting with children. Yana suru sulunuku. Within you, your inner child, as well as outside of you. Yana shuru sulunushi anasurasha. Some of you who don't actually have children around you or who don't necessarily enjoy your time with children. Yanasuru Shanalu Iatukuno Shunukusha Asa. You can still tune in to your heart and connect with your inner child. Yanasarashu Osalanashu Asianashuku. Maybe watch something that you used to watch when you were a little child on TV. Yanashurasur Oshiarakura Hatuku. Or prepare a meal or treat yourself to something that you would have loved as a little child. Yana Surashi, Anasurashu Lukura Sanaka. That really helps in curving the edges. So the step by step vision that they're showing, it doesn't have to be pointy. It can be waves, it can be curves. So as you allow this surrender, ya nasuruku, listening with your heart, ya ha sara sialana shaha shalana shura sarana sha. There's a lot of relief coming through. Ya nasya shu, ya nasya sulia shikura katu shu shutula ha shurukura na shua. Lots of energy shifting and lots of messages coming through to really fill you up, fill your energy, topping it up with love. Yana surasha asarana shulaha. So in the busyness of life, as we do our adulting, paying our bills and doing our grocery and cooking and going to work and paying our taxes and all of that stuff, there are parts of us that still want to do those joyful things that allow us to be in joy, and those are the ones that are buoyant, so they create that buoyancy, and then you go horizontal again, the buoyancy and horizontal. So I'm seeing overall for this collective, at least those three waves are coming through for us. For those who allow more buoyancy and allow that inner child to connect even more, you're expanding and making even more steps, or your steps are much higher, so that your baseline increases and enhances by the time you come to the end of the week. So overall, the energy of this week is very foundational. It's very inner child energy. For some, if you manifest this in a way that you need a trigger from outside to go into your inner child, then that may happen. And for those who are already getting the message, you don't need that externalization. It may be an experience of really taking that time this week to speak with your inner little girl or the inner little boy, and giving it the love that they have always deserved. And they are the ones that bring you joy. They are the ones that make you smile. And they create that signature energy of your soul. So, also bringing in the energy of the divine child archetype from Carolyn Myce's soul archetypes. And the divine child's energy is that of supreme surrender, absolute surrender and trust into everything that is happening in the cosmos. Great connection and wisdom coming through with that as well. And the importance of simplicity compared to the wisdom part, that's really coming in as well. So bringing in all of this, please look after yourself this week. Be very, very gentle and kind. And if you have any questions, if you want to share anything, please feel free to share that in the chat. What is the message that you would like to give to your inner child? I asked this message before and something very beautiful came through. Deepika, thank you so much for that. If there's anyone else who wants to share, you're very welcome to share what you would share with your inner child this week. I'm also feeling a lot of heart chakra energy, and they're giving some diet and dietary suggestions for this week. The dietary suggestions for this week are eating lots of greens, because that's again, for some vibrational reason, the color green is connecting with your heart chakra and the heart energy, and it's allowing you to really have more blood pumped into your heart, have more vitality, have more energy to express yourself. So the eating a lot of greens, that's really coming in. Maybe somebody in our tuning in needs a little bit more iron, or any of the nutrition that come from the greens. I'm also we're also really tuning into the message of things still being in preparation mode for the next stage of your life, the next stage of this year, and everything that you're evolving into being this year. So that is also coming through. So this time it was a very single-minded message, all towards the inner child. That was quite clear. Usually they give a couple of messages, so I like it this way, that we know there's one thing we need to do this week. So I really enjoyed holding this space with you. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful that every week you tune in and you listen to these messages, and you choose to go on your week's journey consciously and with more humility, with more love, with more connection with your soul, and and allowing me to be a part of that journey in some way. I'm so grateful for that, and you're really truly the best. Also, I wanted to leave a few loving announcements and reminders with you. If you feel you want to connect with me on a one on one basis and tune in and see what's happening in your soul's journey, look at your Akashic records from a personal view, where your soul has been, what has your soul done, what your karmic connections have been. You're very welcome to book a one on one session with me. I'll leave the link in the description. We have our upcoming monthly group Akashic meditation, which will happen outside of the normal. Usually I do it on Fridays, but the next one is going to be on a Wednesday. It's going to be on the 1st of April, the Wednesday. It's not an April Fool's Day. It's actually a very, very sacred day. And so we'll bring through that sacredness. It's on the 1st, and I'll leave the link in the description as well. I'm also doing a shamanic teacher certification. And so anyone who is on the path of being a healer and you would like to step in even more powerfully, you're very, very welcome to check out more information. I'll leave that in the description as well. It's from a very ancient Andean tradition that originated in the Himalayas in India, in that part, and it went on and it was carried on by wisdom keepers into the Andean mountains in South America, and they have now we now have these as 13 initiations, and each initiation can simply change your life completely, and the whole pack together is truly transformative. So if you feel guided to connect with the elements of nature and be a part of this experience, you'll really know it. It's a very clear signal that you get. So these were just my few little announcements. Also, thank you so much for your love on all my channels, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm really enjoying showing up and sharing my stories, and allowing you and you allowing me to witness your stories makes it very special. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful week, and feel free to leave any messages to me on the different channels. I'll leave all of that in the description for you as well. And have a wonderful week, and be very, very gentle with your inner little girl and your inner little boy this week. So much love, and I'll see you next week.